from Nutrient or Pioneer, whoever's hat he wants to wear today. And we are taking off the Pioneer test plot that we did. So pretty excited to do this tonight, despite the beans are really wet and it's raining right now, but we're still combining and pushing through. This video is kind of all season long, so the first footage you'll see is them growing, and you can see the different colors and the variety.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Logan with Nutrient Ag out in Marion, and we're here trying to finish this soybean plot today. So what we're doing tonight is we're doing our Pioneer test plot. Trying to get as much done as we can before the rain comes, but unfortunately it's starting to sprinkle. So this might be the last round, but nice thing about this plot is we have each variety in there twice, and we're on the last variety for the first round. So if we don't get it all off tonight, we can start fresh with a new round when we get some better weather. This is probably the fourth time we've actually tried to get this plot off. It's been real wet, so the conditions aren't the best. The field's a little wet, the moistures are coming off a little high. Generally you want to be around 13%. They're coming off right now around 20%, but we'd rather take them off a little wet than it be Christmas time and get them off. So if you can see some of my notes here, we've got each of the varieties here. We've got 24 varieties in this plot, and then basically what we're doing is Matt is going down combining a pass of one variety. He's coming back, we're dumping it into the weigh wagon, getting a weight on it. While he does that, we take our measuring wheel, measure out the distance, and we get the distance, take the weight, test weight. That all goes into a formula, and then we'll figure out the yields on that.
he's doing the test weight. So he wants to get that level. There's a little counterweight there, and we can figure out the test weight of these soybeans. Test weight's not fantastic today, and I think that's because of the high moisture, but we are seeing some pretty good differences in the varieties, so it's going to be exciting to see once the final comes out. He's going to have to do a formula to take the wet weight with the percent moisture and the test weight to come up with a 60-pound test weight equivalent for bushels per acre.
So what I'm doing here is I'm putting this orange flag down so that way Matt can line up his head with the varieties. So because we had to split the planter, Matt can't use a full header width, so he's got to line it up. So he's cutting, I think, about 4 or 5 feet off the header width to take up the 12 feet of the planter to be in each variety, so that way we're not getting multiple varieties in with the sample. So I'm coming down here, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Counting to the 12th row, and I'm putting this flag down so that way Matt can line it up. As you can see, it's getting kind of late. Some of these are starting to lodge over. Could be from a number of things. Could be a little bit of white mold, most likely. So this variety here is an Enlist, where this variety here is an Extend. So this is one of the A series. This one might be hard to pick up on camera, but it's definitely not as lodged as much as the Enlist. So Friday when we were here, it started raining, so I don't know exactly what I covered, but we have a bunch of different varieties in this plot. The cool thing about this plot is it is a Extend and an Enlist plot. So Extend is a trait for dicamba tolerant soybeans. So so there's like Roundup Ready, which is glyphosate. There's Liberty Link, which is glufosinate, and there's Extend, which is dicamba. Dicamba really goes after those harder to kill broadleaves, things like mare's tail, water hemp, things that generic or general Roundup doesn't really take care of. Where now Enlist is a 2,4-D herbicide, 2,4-D with choline. So it also targets all your broadleaves, the water hemp, the mare's tail, tough velvet leaf, things like that. The nice thing with the 2,4-D is, or the Enlist I should say, is the Enlist isn't as volatile as the XtendiMax or dicamba. One of the things with dicamba is in the right weather conditions, it will volatilize, so it basically turns into a gas and lifts up off target and then will travel. We've seen cases where it's traveled well over a mile and has hit non-target crops or non-target pests. So we've had issues where it'll raise up, go down, hit the neighbor's field that's not dicamba tolerant, and then it will really do a lot of damage to non-tolerant crops. So where Enlist, it doesn't volatilize like that. You still have to be very careful. If you get on a crop that is not tolerant and it's a broadleaf, it's gonna ding it up pretty good. One of the nice things, and I was really glad we could do this plot here, is Kyle doesn't spray any of those. His herbicide management in his soybeans is very minimal. He does a good job with tillage. He does a good job with rotation in the nursery. So he doesn't really have these huge weed problems we see in other places. So we didn't have to worry about trying to mix and match the sprays, but we could get a good side-by-side comparison of each of these varieties. So the reason why these extends are kind of usually out yielding the Enlist is Pioneer has what they call the A series beans, which is like their top, their best disease pressure packages and things like that. Basically their best traits. Those A series are all on the Extend platform. The Enlist is not an A series bean yet, but is going to becoming a series bean hopefully in the next 3 years. Hopefully they'll have all their Enlist beans in the A series, and I think you'll start to see new varieties in the Enlist and less in the Extend, as I think Corteva and Pioneer are going to stick with that Enlist platform and roll with it versus the Extend. So some of the cool varieties I'm really excited to see come off are these 2,4 Enlist. In the past plots, the 2,4 Extend has been a big winner in a lot of these plots. So I'm kind of excited to see where that 2,4 Enlist falls. They've been talking, like I said, they've been about 2-3 bushels less than the Extend, so we'll see what happens here. Another one that I'm really excited to see is we've got a new 1,6 variety. It's P16A84. That is an Extend variety, but it's a new variety, and I think that's going to kind of bridge the gap between the later 1.9s that are higher yielding and some of the shorter day stuff like the 0.9s that aren't quite as high yielding. So a couple others, we've got some intros. So intros means it's kind of like a soft release. We didn't really push it out this past season, but we've got some units of it available. A lot of the Enlist, the 1.6 Enlist, the 1.8 Enlist, the 1.3 Enlist, those are all intro products. The 1.3 Extend is also an intro product. I'm really excited to see what that 1.3 does. That's going to be a nice shorter day variety bean for some growers out there. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of this plot brings, and once everything comes off, we'll get back together and we'll go over all the data and see what yielded best and what didn't do so hot.